You know, few stories capture the imagination quite like Wicked. From its incredible run on Broadway, its highly anticipated big screen adaptation, this is a tale that's enchanted millions. Joining us today is Ethan Slater, the talented actor bringing Bach to life in this reimagined Oz. Ethan, welcome to the show, my friend.
Dan, thank you for having me.
All right, I know you're used to stepping into some surreal worlds, like SpongeBob, and
Yeah, sure.
now you're jumping into Oz. It has a huge, passionate fan base. What was it like for you to kind of step into this world and take in the role of Bach and a character that's like really integral to the story?
Yeah, you know, there is a lot of crossover there in some ways. SpongeBob meant so much to so many people for 20 years, right? It was like this piece of animation and comedy that like changed my sense of humor and all of my friends' sense of humor. And Wicked was kind of the same thing. It was a piece of theater that taught me how to think about theater. It was one of the first shows I ever saw when I was 11 years old. I think it was the second Broadway show I ever saw. And, you know, I fell in love with the original Broadway cast album. I fell in love with this story. And it made me sort of want to do more and more and more and more. So I know how much it means to people because it meant that much to me. And just like with SpongeBob, where I wanted to take care of the character and make sure that people saw SpongeBob when they saw me, but I also wanted to put my own spin on it. So is the same with Bach. I wanted to make sure that I paid homage to Christopher Fitzgerald, who played it originally on Broadway, to the dozens of people, if not more, who have played it in the 2 decades since. But I also wanted to bring my own version of Bach to this world. And I feel really grateful, honestly, to John Chu, who fostered that in a huge way.
And the journey of creating Bach is both heartfelt and it's tragic. How did you approach balancing this kindness and his struggles with this unrequited love?
I think it's a really human thing and something that I think a lot of people can relate to. You know, Bach with Nessa, there's another unrequited love there, but their relationship over the course of this movie, it sort of blossoms. It starts from a place of misunderstanding, but I think they really care about each other, and they form a really real friendship that just means something different to Nessa than it does to Bach. And in the face of that, he's dealing with his unrequited love for Galinda. And I think what's really beautiful about this is the way that throughout all of that, Bach is still leading with good enough intentions, and he's you know, looking for his place in the world, and he kind of finds it. And then, you know, as John has talked about, a lot of Wicked is about what happens when the curtain is pulled back and the truth is revealed, and how do you handle that? How do you handle that shake up to your system, to your sense of the world? And that's kind of what starts to happen in part 2, which I'm really excited about, but can't really talk about yet. Sorry, I got ahead of myself.
That's all right. Your bosses aren't watching my show. You could put as many spoilers here as possible.
It might be.
The production design, it's breathtaking. What was it like filming in these like elaborate sets, and what are you excited for fans of Wicked to see?
The sets were stunning and larger than life. I think that's something that I was really amazed by in the moment. Because I remember walking onto the set of Shiz and just kind of like, you know, my eyes just like going up, 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 because they built this huge quad of the school, and there's a giant lake, and we entered the school on boats in the lake. And I remember thinking, God, I hope people don't assume this is CGI. I remember seeing, you know, the wizard head in the wizard's chambers, and thinking, I really hope people realize that in real life, those eyebrows and the lips are moving and the sound is coming through. It's all really built. And I think watching the movie, what I'm struck by is that the practical nature of the sets and of the costumes and of the world, it really comes through. It feels really lived in. And so it just sort of proved to me the value of it, I guess.
Ethan, thanks for joining me this morning and kind of giving us that little peek behind the curtain of Wicked. We can't wait to check it out. It's in theaters now, and thank you guys for joining me this morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and thanks everyone for watching. Go see Wicked, I guess.